Thank you and welcome, everyone. My name is Anna Baggio. I'm the Conservation Director for Wildlands League. We're a conservation charity. We've been working and supporting KI, Kitchinimikuzipininiwig, for the last 20 years, and most recently Wapekeka. We are very pleased to be providing you with an announcement of the latest step in this project that's been going on for 2 decades. KI and Wapekeka First Nation. They're located 600 kilometers northwest of Thunder Bay. They'll be providing you with an update on their homelands. They have been, under their laws, permanently protected. This is over 3 million hectares, which is about 48 times larger than the size of the city of Toronto. We have some maps here. This area is known as Anishinaabe in their language. And a really important part is over 77% of it has already been withdrawn from mining. So we have a great opportunity here to permanently protect it, and they are inviting the Ontario government to join them and have diplomatic talks. This area is very important in terms of being rare and one of the most important intact boreal forests with peatlands that have been cooling the planet and free-flowing rivers. So it is a globally significant area. We will have 3 speakers today. The Chief of KI, Donnie Morris. The Deputy Chief of Wapekeka is Alan Brown. And then we'll have final remarks by Saul, and then we'll take some questions. So with that, I'll hand it over to Chief Donnie Morris of KI.
Good morning. My name is Donnie Morris, Chief of Kitchinimikuzipininiwig. English, it's Big Trout Lake. So we're here today at officially comment on our withdrawn lands that we are proposing to the public, especially citizens of Ontario. This is our goal, to make this withdrawn lands permanent. And we're here asking the Ford government, especially the Premier, we would like to have dialogue to see this thing go through, that the Ontario government sees our plans. And moving forward, we want Ontario and Canada and KI to officially sign this thing into a permanent land withdrawal for our memberships up north. A lot of people may think why we're doing it only for the community of KI, but officially it's not. It's for the public. As we all know, a land mass this size, it's to protect it for the future. Whatever green we'll have in the future, that's our goal too. So economically, this Ford government is pushing economically, but on the other side of environmental issues, this is where we're trying to come in as a government up north. We need to do more to protect our waters, our lands, and animals. And I think this is where we're asking Doug Ford, let's sit down. Let's have discussion, government to government. I know 1929, July 5, Ontario and Canada came to KI to sign treaty. And now I think we're coming here to your government office demanding that we want to have a discussion on this. A meeting to straighten out how we want this thing acknowledged by your government, and doing this overall would be more beneficial to your leadership too in the future. I know you and we get criticism from our membership. We get blasted for things we do, but sometimes as leaders we know we got to admit we do make mistakes, and this is one of the mistakes I want to clear up with our leadership, that we got to do something right. And this thing that I'm proposing, which we already have identified on our part, is permanently withdrawn. Now we just need you to come on board to see that Ontario government is on board, and then we'll have discussions on future development. What do we want to see in the future? So we're open for that too. Achia.
Hi, my name is Alan Brown. I'm the Deputy Chief of Wapekeka First Nation. I don't want to say too much. I think the press release is straightforward. How we want to envision our community and our homeland, is to protect our wetlands or our land, the waters in our area, and we just want to identify the responsibility of the Ontario and Canada fiduciary responsibilities under the treaty. So we want to ensure that the total levels of government honor our request to have both governments sit down with us and iron out the details how we want to further protect our homeland, and also the way we want to protect it. So I just want to ensure that I concur what Chief Donnie Morris has said. Thank you.
I say greetings to everyone that is here, whether it's in person, whether it's viewing, calling in. I say thank you to the leadership, community members that are here from Kitchener-Mexico, from Wapekeka as well, but also the Wildlands League, for organizing this press conference. But I do want to say, start by saying that it's an honor to be able to be joined here by Chief Donnie Morris, also some of the leadership that is here from KI, specifically Deputy Chief Cecilia Begg. We have to understand that both of them whom were imprisoned in 2008 for standing up to Platniks and defending their land. I believe that when a First Nation comes here, when the leadership comes here, that they want to have a dialogue. They want to work with this government, and I think it's an opportunity to be able to do it in a very diplomatic way. And we have to understand as well the leadership of KI, has shown Ontario, what lengths they are willing to go to protect their homelands, but also to protect their sovereignty. I know this past summer, Bill 5 passed into law. We're quite aware that the special economic zones regulations are probably, I would say, almost finalized. And I know that there's a lot of announcements with development. I know I see also some misleading ads that are there with respect to the Ring of Fire. But I think we have to understand as well that none of this changes the key reality that the government cannot control and does not want to face. And none of the mining projects that we talk about, that this government talks about so confidently to go ahead, without the free, prior, informed consent. And I think, these are the people that live in these homelands, and they will be impacted, period. So I think it's important that, again, the leadership is here. They want dialogue. And I think it's time that it's important that they come up and start this dialogue. So, but I want to make it clear. Nations such as Kitchener-Mexico, KI, and Wapekeka do have jurisdiction over their homelands. And I know they can and they will assert their sovereignty. And that's what brought us here today. So, amigos, for listening, and I guess you can handle the questions.
So we'll just take some questions, and I just also want to acknowledge MPP Jamie West is here too, so thank you. So we'll just fire away.
Hi, I'm wondering for the chiefs, are there any mining claims or projects that are currently planned in the area you're talking about and that you would like to stop?
For our withdrawn lands, it's been put on hold. That's why it's called the withdrawal lands. There's no mining activities going on, but on the outskirts of the boundaries there are mining claims. So these are, I guess, part of our wish is these mining companies don't encroach on our withdrawn lands out of respect. This is our government that is declaring these withdrawn lands to be permanent, and for those that are on the outskirts of our boundaries, just keep it there. Don't move into our territory and start creating problems for us. That's going to get us into trouble again. Respect our laws.
Hi, this is a bit of a process question, but which part of the treaty allows for this process of expanding the protection area of the province?
They have their own laws. KI has their own laws. Ontario's laws have something under the Mining Act that allows them to withdraw lands from being registered for claim staking, and so Ontario did that in 2012 in response to a conflict. And so today, the communities have already done the work to declare declare these areas protected under their laws. They're asking Ontario to reciprocate and do work under Ontario's laws to fully and permanently protect them. So that's how that process would unfold.
I have another question for you, if you don't mind. It's about Crawford Mine, which is not quite related to this, but I know Wildlands League struck a slightly different tone than usual with mines regarding this one. But I know there's still environmental concern with this one, so I'm just wondering how you made that choice to have that point of view.
When we look at critical mine projects, we evaluate them on where they're located, what type of ecosystem they're in, whether they're brownfield, whether there's infrastructure nearby, whether there is a community workforce, what have the municipalities said about it, and what have the First Nations said about it. When we looked at the Crawford project, they had done a lot of work over many years to work with the local communities, to work with the municipalities. They are located in an area that's already close to an existing road. They are, yes, there will be some environmental challenges, and they're working on that. And I know people on the Environment Committee that are working really hard on that, some local people. And so when we look at how do we build critical minerals projects, we think the country should go first to where they've already disturbed. So go to those brownfield sites, go to the sites where there's already roads, and avoid some of those impacts that we cannot get a handle on. So, for example, the peatlands are so important for carbon that if we disturb those peatlands, they're going to jeopardize our ability to even have a safe, livable climate by 2050. So that's why we're saying it makes more sense to go where there's already been disturbances. And that's why we said, you know what, Crawford has the potential. Let's look at Crawford.
Can you tell us a little more about what the conversations have been like so far about protecting this amount of land, both with the federal government and the Ontario government?
I think we've done some little work with Canada on Parks Canada, like the IPA, and I think with Ontario, this is where I guess we're coming here to extend a hand that we want to start dialogue, start discussions on our withdrawn lands, and we need Ontario to be there so that in the future that these lands are secured in a way where there's no disturbances until we feel ourselves in that region that we're ready for whatever opportunities there are in the future. But right now, our goal is to protect this withdrawn lands. You ask yourself, if I was the premier, you sign off on Ring of Fire. It's a huge tract of land. So do something worthwhile that's beneficial to the rest of Ontario. This lands that we want to put aside, sign off on that too. That way, you whatever discussions, negative comments are coming out of his area of pushing economic forward, do something for our environment too. Do it. It may not balance it out, but at least you're showing you're a sincere individual, a leader that acknowledges, yes, I do care about environmental issues too. So this is why we're here offering that option for him to sign on, support us, walk with us, and let's see how far we can go.
And then speaking of the Ring of Fire and the roads to it, there's going to be an announcement just in under an hour today about the work that the government has been doing with Martin Falls First Nation in particular. I wondered if you wanted to weigh in on the government's position and work on the road to the Ring of Fire so far?
As a community and leadership, we did put a notice in that the migratory route of the caribou, what's the impact that's going to have on our community? Because we usually have, I think, twice a year, hundreds of caribou that migrate. Is that road going to impact that migratory route? What's the impact? We talk about species of risk and all that. What's the impact on us living on the west side? Obviously, the caribou is our main diet, and it is definitely we're going to feel the impact of this road if it goes up. So how are they going to allow these caribou to migrate? Because when you travel these southern highways, do you see animals crossing over and over? I don't think so. Whatever crosses over just gets squashed. And that's not the way we want to look at things. We want to look at how do we get our meals to our table, not scared off to take another detour that's going to impact us. That's only been our concern. And I guess with what Wapekeka does on their own and Martin Falls, that's their prerogative. They can decide if it's going to benefit their communities in the long run. But I think that they kind of, I don't know, like I said, they got their own issues. And that issues is what's the betterment of their communities. And I think that's the same we're coming here to tell the Ford government benefits our communities. We need this thing endorsed by the Ontario government that they're supporting us.
And if you don't mind, one more question from me. What is your relationship like with the Ford government right now? Like, have you been part of the consultations about the road to the Ring of Fire or about Bill 5 or anything that might impact your nation so far?
At the moment, we're one of the communities that has a court issue with Bill 5 and C5. So with consultation, that's a tough question. I've been involved with government involvement in the past. What they call consultation is not accurate. They may come to our communities, but it's not for those same reasons. It's always something else. When Michael Bryant was officially first named as Indian Affairs Minister, he bought there just to show him off. And there was another Child Family Service Minister that came to visit with the sale of Bell Canada. And then there was another minister that came there for some kind of funding release. One day I'm looking at TVO and I see Michael Bryant saying our government ministries have gone to KI 3 times on consultation regarding the Platniks issue, which was never the case. It never happened. So these officials that stand, us officials that stand here, I guess sometimes we try and make it sound good, and sometimes it's not accurate, but I'm coming here on basis of telling the truth that we are serious. What we're proposing is true. It's not just a flyby thing that you just throw it out to you guys and you spin it. We're here to show accurate issues with our withdrawal lines.
So you mentioned Michael Bryant. We're going back a long time. We're talking about the Liberal government.
Yes.
With this PC government under Doug Ford, have they consulted with you on this issue?
I always hear Rick Ford saying he's a good friend of mine. Yes, he is. He used to work for our community. He was a lawyer for our community, our organization. God, sometimes I wish I could have videotaped him when he was talking about when he was working for us, saying treaty issues to the governments. Now that he's on the other side, it's a whole different issue. He doesn't see treaty the way he saw it when he was working for us. Now that he's on the opposite side, it's a different story. He should apply what he learned working for us, living with us people up north, what our real aspirations are as communities, as natives, as landholders. Now he doesn't apply any of that, and for him to consult with us, no, he hasn't. None of them has.
What would proper consultation mean? I know that's a big question, but if you can kind of give like a couple quick points, maybe.
For me, consultation would be if the Premier made himself available. That's the intent of the treaty we signed in 1929, is these three governments sit down and have dialogue, discussions on sharing, helping each other out. But that's not how it doesn't look like now. It's just these things are just pushed down on us. Even the Far North Act, we never were part of that. Land use planning that they implemented, we never were part of that. All these things they try and apply up north, we don't accept those things, but rather we have our own policies, our own laws that we do to not counter, but to show that as a government we do have our own policies, but it just doesn't jive with the Ontario policies. So there's that conflict. So now I guess coming here, we just want to make it clear that no more of this. Let's settle this. Put the withdrawn lands aside, and then we'll be out of your hair.
And I know you said Wapekeka, Martin Falls, like they can do what's best for them, but how much of a conflict is there between First Nations?
Well, they're going ahead with it, right? And that's the same thing we'll probably face with our withdrawn lands. There may be some critics there, but that's part of being in the leadership. But this is when you look at Doug Ford doing these environmental things that are not in a safety environment, balance that out to the public and to the environmentalists. Balance it out with standing by our withdrawn lands and accepting it. That's a trade-off there. If he's a good leader, as I think he is, he will. I hope he makes contact and say, yes, let's discuss this further. Over dinner at St. Louis Chicken Bar at that little mall over there. It's got good food there, good chicken wings.
And Chief, can you give us an update on the court case? Is there a hearing set? Do you have a sense of the timeline now?
Usually, I always ask myself when people are asked about court cases, it's in the court system, we can't say anything. But for me, I'm not hiding behind that. Yes, it is. We are involved in a few court cases, but like I said, these things are in the courts. That doesn't mean it doesn't prevent us from not seeing each other. I know my word is honestly spoken. My honor's on the table for me if I want to talk with somebody, with the Premier. And I think he should do the same thing too. Shouldn't rely on saying, it's in the court system and not do dialogue. These things can happen. Yeah. Because I don't know, we have to move forward.
All right, well, thank you very much. We'll conclude.